ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on, we thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin. We here at Angry Me Production want to thank our sponsor, Mobile Notary Mindy. She's certified with the National Notary Association. She's also bonded and E&O insured. She offers a wide range of services including wills, powers of attorney, medical documents, healthcare proxies, living wills, certification of trust, assignment of personal property, HIPAA waivers, advanced healthcare directives, and 99 verification. You can find her on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Mobile Notary Mindy. You can also visit her webpage at TexasMobileNotaryMindy.com. That's TX, MobileNotaryMindy.com. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, angry faithful of all ages even, welcome to Nerd Sports 156. Today is not the day for O.J. Simpson jokes, but be advised, we will take a stab at it tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow the gloves are off, which is very fitting. But, you know, I mean, it's not like we're going to go all buck wild like a Bronco or anything like that. I mean, it is what it is. I've got my favorite stabbing hat on, and, you know.
My gloves don't fit.
Really,
I couldn't fit these gloves on, so
really cut to the heart of the matter there.
yeah.
I mean, so some of the jokes that are going to be interwoven into the interwoven or woven interwoven. Is that a good word? I think it is. It is.
Yeah.
They're going to be on the cutting edge. So, you know, unlike the coffin that the juice was supposedly buried in, they're going to be fitting. However, digress.
That would be funny if he doesn't fit in the damn coffin.
Hey, if he didn't fit in the coffin, then God would have to acquit the death, and he'd be coming back to life. Then we would have to deal with like a zombie OJ, which
I'm all right with that.
I'll say. I said it the day that he took off on that wild slow police chase. And I said it again the day that he died. Fucker should have had a V8.
Yeah.
Did you see that meme of him where he's at the pearly gates and Anna Nicole is standing there, and he said, "Heard you've been cheating on me up here."
I also saw the meme that had Norm Macdonald greeting him at the pearly gates, going, hey, "You're not supposed to be here."
Yes,
the entire 11 minutes.
OJ's last tweet, it said, "It's hot down here, for real, for real." I mean, there's a lot of sharp jokes that OJ would be proud of, but you know,
they don't quite fit.
Yeah,
but they're sharp and they're continuous.
But I mean, at the very least, he can rest in peace knowing that his wife's killer is dead. So,
yes,
they finally got him.
Finally fucking got him. Anyways, I mean, you got to admit though, I mean, during his playing career, he was a slashing type of running back. So, a real killer on and off the field.
Did you see that meme about the it was the post where it was the entire thing was because of the Bills. They lost that game. They
Yeah,
got the number one draft.
Hold on. I think I saved that. Hold on,
If you
just
had that was
that dude. That was
Kardashians are because of the Buffalo.
yeah, dude. It was great. Let me see here. Let me come on. Here, really? Seriously? No, I don't. Oh my god! Like, there we go. Okay. Well, see, the one with Norm Macdonald, it said, OJ died. You're joking. I don't see him. Where is he? Are you sure? I read that, and I read that in Norm Macdonald's voice.
I did say that one.
It's so great.
Because that is exactly how he would be.
Right. Let me see here. OJ Simpson.
Yeah, someone asked me, it's like, hey, did you you need to do a Psychos and Sociopaths this week about
Okay.
OJ? Oh,
Here we
shit.
go. All right. So this is a reminder. The Buffalo Bills barely lost a game in 1970 by missing on a bad pass for a touchdown. That loss allowed them to get the first pick in the draft. OJ Simpson. OJ Simpson stayed in Buffalo for a while, meets his wife, then allegedly kills her, then hires Robert Kardashian to be his lawyer. They win the case, making the Kardashians somewhat famous. Then Kim drops the sex tape and becomes famous. So basically, the 1970s Bills are the reason why we have to deal with the Kardashians today. Because if they'd have won that game, they wouldn't have had the first round pick. So OJ would have never met Nicole and thus, therefore, never had the chance to allegedly kill her, preventing the entire Kardashian family from ever even being a sliver of a subject in modern culture. Damn you, Buffalo Bills. Damn you.
Now, having said that, can we stop with the whole allegedly already? Can we stop saying allegedly kill?
Yeah.
I realize it was in the thing and you're reading that. I get that, but come on.
Yeah.
He literally wrote a book saying, if I had done it, this is how I would have did it.
Yeah. Come on. And it doesn't take a fucking rocket scientist to understand that if you throw leather gloves into a bush somewhere and allow them to dry in the sun and in the heat of Southern California, they're going to shrink.
Did you
They
see
weren't leather gloves?
You stick them in an evidence bag for a couple of months and tell him, oh, hey, you got to put these on and we're not going to condition them at all. Did you see how crumply and crinkly those things were?
Yeah.
Of course they're not going to fit. And then when you put your hand in there like this, yeah, of course it's not going to fit.
Did you see that some of the jurors were coming out and talking about
oh yeah, they said they did it out of revenge because of the whole Rodney King thing.
Yeah, flat out said, yeah, we knew we did it, but we voted voted not guilty because of Rodney King.
Yeah.
How many
books flat out, yes, we knew he did it.
Yeah, it's because the statute of limitations on that shit ran out.
Yeah. Look at the how many book deals that he ended up contributing to for that whole entire fucking case. I mean, even the jurors did a fucking book.
I mean, does this mean that after Shohei Ohtani retires from baseball, gets elected into the Hall of Fame, and just before he dies of some like crazy butt cancer, he's going to come out and be like,
alien colon worm?
Yeah, some alien colon worm. That he's going to be like, yeah, I really bet on those games.
We'll be like, oh shit, Sherlock.
Really? Yeah. We're gonna be like, yeah. Are we gonna go dig up your old friend and your former best friend and interpreter because the Yakuza got to him because of some bullshit that you pulled?
Yeah. Why wouldn't you?
Yes.
I mean, if we see the interpreter dude, I can't remember his name off the top of my head right now, but if we see him walking around months from now missing a finger, we know why. It's because the Yakuza took that shit.
Well, see, you only lose the finger if you talk. So far, he hasn't said anything.
Yeah, that's true.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that is true. All right. So, all right. I have on MLB The Show 24, I've created my own player, made my way to the show, won the World Series. And I was like, you know what? Before, you know, and I before I try to play a second full season, because I found a quirky little glitch. Like after you hit 254 home runs in the regular season, the home run counter starts over at 1 again.
It doesn't go above 254.
No, which I thought was really weird. I was like, what? Huh, okay. But your career totals keep going up, which I'm okay, that's fine. Whatever. I played the March towards October October mode, right? Which you're playing with the live roster.
Mm.
And you have to build momentum by winning games a certain way, you know, blowouts, things like that. Because the more momentum you get dictates the number of games and the number of innings that you can skip before you sim in and play live, right? So of course I'm playing as the Red Sox, and it's like, you know, you've got your sure bets, you've got your intermediate, and then you got your long shots, right? So I picked the Red Sox, obviously, and the Red Sox were classified in the game as long shots. They were projected to win 71 games. I won 124 games.
I was gonna say 115.
I won 124. I set the single season wins record. You know, and I'm sitting there like, all right, and you know, so I get Houston in the divisional round, and the run differential was like plus 35 per game.
Mm.
Right? So I mean, I'm blowing it out, right? I unlocked the achievement that says save some for tomorrow, and it said, you know, when you win a game by 24 or more runs. And then I get the Rangers. I get the Rangers in the ALCS. The run differential there was 27.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I get to the Braves. And the Braves, game 3, held me to a 7-4 win.
Oh.
But I mean, I still swept all the way through the playoffs.
Right, but still.
I'm like, okay.
That's
Yeah.
Start sweating a little bit.
I went back to back to back to back like 3 separate times in the playoffs. I mean, we're talking about jacking home runs, dude. I'm just sitting there. I kept thinking about like MLB baseball, you know, that EA Sports, you know, back like 2003. You know, when Manny Ramirez was one of like the top rated players in the game.
Here's
Right.
the thing, though. Does the game have like Aaron Hernandez as an umpire? Because there's some
You
of
mean
those games.
Aaron Hernandez?
Yeah.
Aaron Hernandez is dead, and he was the tight end that killed people.
Right.
But
That's
Angel
right.
Hernandez, no, it doesn't highlight, because in true fashion, the goal for every umpire is to not be mentioned in the game highlights.
Well, every umpire but him.
Yeah.
True.
Dude.
Yeah.
I've been watching videos all weekend about how he's been fucking up, like the Houston, Texas game.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, he's
3 in
got-
a row that were outside the zone 6+ inches. And he
When
called
the freaking pitcher
at that particular at bat,
has to go over here.
right? No, at that particular at bat, every one of those pitches was outside in the left hand's batter box, right?
Yeah.
Which is appropriate, considering that O.J. Simpson just recently, you know, canceled his subscription to breathing. I mean, when O.J. Simpson was with the Bills, he always cut to the left.
You're saying it was an homage, is what I'm hearing.
Yes, it was, and it was an homage. I mean, so it might have been by design. And
how do you explain every single other game?
That design is the fact that Angel Hernandez is the personification as to why equal opportunity hires, not 9 times out of 10, don't work out.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, I mean,
And the umpires union is too strong.
You're gonna get, dude. You know, I think that the umpires union at some point has to kind of just sit back and go, "Oh, we fucked up."
At some point, there got to be like, listen, like, okay, we're supposed to have your back and shit, but
You're gonna pull them into the office and they're gonna be like,
Fucking sneaky bastard.
I'm telling you, man, he
You know,
just
this was back in the day, and they had like unions. There'd be like cement slippers for them.
"No, because they wouldn't waste the
mob run
concrete on him."
yeah, let's let the mob run the unions again, so we can actually get some some justice here.
I mean, if the mobs ran the unions again, the biggest piece of Angel Hernandez that we might find somewhere would be a mist of DNA on a shrub somewhere.
No.
They lay right next to Jimmy Hoffa.
No, you would find the body only because they want to set as the example.
I mean,
They would mail his right hand, the one that he uses to, you know, call the third strike. They would mail his right hand back to the president or to the competition committee, you know, front office.
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah. You know, last week the show, like, immediately, boom, five viewers right off the bat. And here we are, you know, and I love the fact that David's here. I always welcome it when David's here. We got nobody fucking watching.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's whatever. And yeah.
So I didn't get to do my little weird sport. You want me to hold off until like we're waiting on Colin so we have something to go through it for the weird sport?
I just sent my daughter a text that's like, I know you weren't doing anything right now. You're live.
come pad our numbers.
Right.
We need the views, bitch.
Excuse you, sir. That's my daughter.
I apologize.
There we go. Good boy.
God damn, it's very hard. We're having like tornadoes and everything.
Yeah, it got awful dark over here on my drive home.
Yeah, the cloud cover got a little bit thicker here in the last 16 minutes or so. I'm digging it though. I mean, I was telling David pre-show that you know, they're projecting a rather active hurricane season this year because the waters in the Gulf were already warm enough back in February that they had late February, early March, that we had a great white shark off the coast.
Oh, wow.
Making its way up the coast. Yeah. I mean,
it was a very mild winter.
Yeah, it was a very, 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 very mild winter, but yeah, I mean,
thanks, Al Gore.
Right? You're such an inconvenient prick. Whatever.
See, if only Greta had gone out and got arrested like 17 more times, it's like she's not even trying.
Yeah.
How dare you? How dare you?
How dare I?
I hate how freaking media wants to blow shit up.
Greta's got to be happy. I mean, she's got to be very proud of OJ right now, though, because I mean, he did eliminate his carbon footprint.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the new euphemism. He eliminated his carbon footprint.
Yes. Yeah. There we go.
There we go.
I mean, I was rather proud of the whole canceling your subscription to breathing.
That
I still like that.
I do like that.
Eliminating your carbon footprint is, yeah, I dig that a whole lot more.
That's up there.
Well, that's a threat. It's like, hey, I'm going to eliminate your carbon footprint. I mean, you do it a little bit more.
See, but then it gives you a plausible legal out, because then they could be like, were you threatening his life? I'm like, No, I wasn't threatening his life. When I said eliminate his carbon footprint, I was talking about buying carbon credits or planting a tree
Yeah.
Yeah. He's gonna buy him
that he
split.
would later have to apologize to because that tree's working very hard to make the oxygen that he's stealing.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that comment might get you get you thrown in jail for
We need to make that shirt. I'm gonna eliminate your carbon footprint.
yes, and unequivocally, irrevocably, exponentially, and expeditiously, I am promising that the website will be up before the end of the week.
Good. I'm gonna get a
Like I tried to explain to you last night on the phone, David. I got shit that I'm trying to take care of too at the same time. And I'm like you when you said, "Oh, I'm just going to have somebody else do it." No, because then we're not going to get what we want, and then we're going to get charged out the ass for it.
No,
No,
it's
no.
gonna be totally free.
No, don't care.
It's what happens when I'm
Yeah, is
sexy.
that free though. Nothing's ever free.
Technically, no, it wouldn't be.
I mean,
like
you just have to put up with me, whereas you have anybody else on the outside try to do it.
Okay, yeah, okay, yeah. All right, you win.
They're going to want the tip of the tongue right around that ring.
Counterclockwise though.
Yeah, counterclockwise, not the clockwise.
The reason why I always bring wet nut.
Save clockwise for the ladies, bud. That's all I'm just trying to say.
That's for the special.
You know?
You don't just give. You just don't give clockwise to everybody.
No. Clockwise is saved for the special people in our lives.
Yeah. Someone please say I love you too.
Yeah.
I desperately want that on a t-shirt.
Man, we're coming up with t-shirts.
That's to see if anybody would actually. I want to see puzzlement on people's faces when they're like,
Ooh, I've got a great t-shirt, right? It's remember, kids, the big O, or there is a big O in clockwise.
yes. There's a big O in clockwise.
There's a big O in clockwise.
Yes. Yeah. They'd be like, it's the same size as every other letter. Oh,
That's because you're not doing it right.
you're doing it right. Telling on yourself.
Mm-mm.
Oh man.
It's just you just look at the just you poor thing. You poor thing. What, bro? What?
You can make a Big Lebowski, reference. You could be like, obviously, you don't have lesbians in your family.
I did watch that movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, me and Kenny
thing?
watched it. Yeah, the whole thing.
yeah, and
It was an artistic comedy, and I didn't like it all too much. I mean, it was entertaining. I'm glad I watched it, but I'm not gonna repeat the process.
fucking spare parts, bud.
Yeah. I can't help it, dude. It's like
Spare
all
Spare parts,
Anderson
bud.
movies. It's
Shut
all
the fuck up, Tony. You're out of your element.
Fuck
God.
it's like all those Wes Anderson comedies everybody's putting out, or
I'm-
Wes
I'm-
Anderson puts out, and I can't fucking stand it.
I just received the look because Mindy is in here conducting notary business, and I just dropped the F-bomb while she's on the phone.
Oh.
To my defense, though,
Somebody's not getting
I
clockwise.
was
Somebody's getting counterclockwise tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So now she's texting. Awesome. So I can go back to saying whatever the fuck I want. The bell was like, sparest of parts, bud.
Thank you, Bell. This is why we like Bell.
Yeah. Bell, you missed the greatest of openings. Because I opened up the show talking about how today is not the day for OJ Simpson jokes, but we're going to take a stab at it tomorrow. Tomorrow the gloves are off. Just kind of putting it out there.
Yeah, we're just gonna cut open everything.
These jokes that are going to be hitting you tonight, cutting edge. Absolutely.
Laser, razor, sharp.
That's good times.
Precision.
I mean, these jokes do fit. So I mean, we got to get acquitted somewhere, right? Just kind of saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Moving on. Today was Jackie Robinson Day, so everybody wore 42. Damned if I could tell anybody apart, except the fact that the Red Sox bullpen shit the bed yet once again. I could definitely tell it was the Red Sox bullpen. Absolutely. They lost in the late innings to the Cleveland Guardians, of all people. Like, are you serious?
That's a new
no.
team, right?
No. They're the artists formerly known as the Cleveland Indians.
I know.
Cleveland had a baseball team?
I didn't know they had.
I like Major League. That was a good movie.
It's like, yeah, I love the Browns.
I am going to get me a Rick Vaughn jersey.
You know what? I kind of want one too.
Do you know on the player creator they have his haircut?
Really?
They do.
I'm gonna have to do it now. I'm gonna have to do it now.
I think they call it the wild thing.
Yeah.
Big,
I mean, I'm
pretty
gonna
neat.
plunk so many players that it's gonna be like every game starts with a safety brief.
Quick question though. Okay, I've been watching these videos all fucking week about Sweet Caroline and the Boston Red Sox. What the fuck is the deal with Sweet Carolina and the Boston Red Sox?
Not Sweet Carolina, it's Sweet Caroline, and it's a song by Neil Diamond that he wrote for JFK's daughter, Caroline.
Yeah.
And they sing it during the 8th inning stretch. They sing Take Me Out to the Ball Game during the 7th inning stretch, and it's a uniquely Boston tradition that during the 8th inning stretch, they sing Sweet Caroline.
Oh, okay. I was
Yeah.
just wondering.
What?
What are we whatting?
So I'm watching the Kansas City Royals and the Chicago White Sox, and I'm
Perplexed.
I don't see who it was that just it was number 42, just stole a base and was behind by a mile, got tagged, and inexplicably was waived safe.
They probably called an interference call.
No, just flat out said safe.
Yeah, no, they probably said that the fielder, defensive player blocked the running lane, impeded the path to the base. Dude, they're gonna have to rewrite that rule. They're gonna have to clarify it because it's gonna cause so many fucking headaches this year. But I like how you just completely glossed over it was number 42. Everybody today, man.
I know. That's why I said it. I didn't catch his name, so I was like, it was number 42.
Don't they have like names on the back of their jersey?
No, it's just number 42.
No, as a matter of fact, the last active player that got to wear the number 42 was the great Mariano Rivera. And I say that as a Red Sox fan. I respect Mariano Rivera. Even though he was a lifelong Yankee, the closer, I mean, we had to go through him to beat the curse of the Bambino back in 2004. So, I mean, there you go. But once he retired, he was the last active player to be able to wear the number 42. The number 42 has been retired Major League Baseball wide. Every stadium you go to, the number 42 is on the retired facade.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they're all in Dodger blue.
As well they should.
As well as should, yeah. Although if we are being kind of, I don't know. I mean, not to take away from Jackie Robinson or what he did for the color barrier, but I mean, Ted Williams was playing baseball before Jackie Robinson was, and Ted Williams was half Hispanic.
Yeah.
So there is that.
That is true.
Teddy ball game, the splendid splinter, half Hispanic. Just kind of
I did
saying.
not know that.
I mean,
I like Jack. I like
not. I mean, the fact that I'm fixed and I don't have that kind of a need for my left testicle anymore. I mean, I would donate my left testicle for an autographed bat of Ted Williams. I'm just kind of saying I would risk the I would risk the chance of having to walk around lopsided or listing to one side for the rest of my life just to have that bat in my personal collection. It's kind of saying.
Yeah. I can see that.
And I say that, and my wife is sitting a mere 3 feet from me, and she hasn't turned around to look at me.
You got
yet.
the other one. The other
I
one's fine.
yeah.
Do
One
I
is
know?
like- 2 is too many.
Right. It's too many.
And honestly, guys our age, it's the lefty that causes the problems. It is lefty that causes problems.
I mean, as a lefty, I can attest that is I can confirm. Can confirm.
Accurate.
Yeah.
Jesus. They go really hardcore on these things. I'm looking at
I don't
just
I
the
don't
price. I mean, it's about $3,000. But Ted Williams signed HNB Louisville Slugger bat PSA/DNA COA.
It just means that it's a certified autograph. Yeah.
Yeah.
You said 3,000?
It's 2,999.99.
Oh, 3,000. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. So to
intact.
put that into perspective, 2 years ago, I was at a Ranger game with Mindy, and
Yeah, it was about 12.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, he said it was like 1,200 last time.
It was 1,500 last
Oh,
time.
50.
2 years ago, it was $1,500. Now it's 3,000. So,
But that's Bidenomics for you.
I mean, if it wasn't for the fact that we were in the process of about to get married and we were trying to buy a house, I'd have that bat in a fucking case hanging above the wall, on the wall above the Red Sox World Series, bat that's back there on the wall now.
3,000.
Yeah. I mean, I'm grateful for the two Nolan Ryan autographed baseballs. I got a John Lester. I've got a Pete Rose up there. I got King Griffey Jr. And I've got a 2004 World Series baseball signed by Jason Varitek, the fucking captain. Oh yeah, that was one of my mini birthday presents a couple of years ago when my lovely, dear, beautiful wife took me to Boston, and I hijacked that first day of the trip. But still, nonetheless, it's like
Worth it.
Totally worth it. Especially still because I'm carrying around the warning track in my ring, so it's all there.
That's true.
Yeah. Just
You
whatever.
can't say that I'm not dedicated. Look at that, we're up to 3 viewers. Holy crap! And I start because Belle was like, I told Belle, I said, hey, get your friends to tune in. I mean, get the word out. She's like, I'm sending out the link. So some of these viewers better be them. And if they are them, they need to get into the chat and they need to start sounding off, make their presence known, get involved with the show. This is what live entertainment is all about. It's about the fans. I mean, not really, but
It's about you guys.
yeah, it's about you guys. I mean, we could sit here and talk about ourselves all day long, and your lives would be better for it, especially on government theft day.
Don't even fucking get me started.
That's why I called it that. I called it government theft day.
Bro.
I mean, the government's doing its best OJ impression. It's stealing the lives from a lot of people.
Um
And it's got the greatest defense team in history. It's got the dream team.
It was more of a Bill Cosby kind of thing for me.
I can see that.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Baseball news, other than the fact that it is Jackie Robinson Day.
And the Rangers just won.
Oh, the longtime announcer for the Yankees, John Sterling, finally announced his retirement. If you heard even sound bites from any of the Yankee TV broadcasts, you hear home run calls like, "It is long, it is far, it is gone." I mean, he'll what's the word I'm looking for? He'll turn anybody's name into an adjective describing the grandeur of that particular home run, even if it was just a little cheapy over the short porch in right field. Yeah. Which, I mean, let's face it, if it wasn't for the short porch in right field in Yankee Stadium, 35% of the home runs that the Yankees have ever hit wouldn't have been home runs.
That's true. That is very.
And that short porch might just be the reason why they've got. Oh, we got 27 rings. Hey, shut up. Anyways, let me see. Hey, but you know what? Good for him, John Sterling, legend. In the booth. I'm sure he's going to be first ballot. In the Baseball Hall of Fame as far as like the radio and media section is going to be concerned. Just like my very own Joe Castiglione, who has been calling Red Sox games on the radio for WEEI for 50 years now almost. He's been calling games for the Red Sox since the 86 season. So he has the distinct honor of having called more Red Sox games than anybody in history. And that includes his predecessors.
A record not likely to be broken.
No, he will be the Cal Ripken of baseball, so of radio. So
That is
I just like Chris's memes that he sends.
what?
Look at those guys' meme group.
No, because I'm not logging into Messenger right now. I'm just not doing it. All right.
I'll send it to you later.
I'll look at it once we get off the air, so that way I can actually look at my phone. Because I mean, I've got those guys muted, so that way it's not going off at 2 and 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. David,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Looking at you, bud.
I don't understand.
spare us the parts. Your 10-ply, bro.
Okay.
Park at the end of the laneway. Don't come up on the property.
I work nights and I find stuff and I want to send it to people.
Yeah, I don't know. Do something constructive, like I don't know, your job.
Yeah,
I go on breaks,
exactly what they would expect out of him. You gotta keep him.
Yeah. I mean,
I see what you did there.
we're gonna cut like OJ and go into the next sport. The NFL. Let me see here. Not a lot. It's all draft news, and I don't really. Oh, the Jets unveiled their legacy collection of uniforms to include some alt helmets. A few other teams in the coming weeks are going to be announcing some of these alt uniforms, some of these alt helmets that have been approved by a new rule change in the NFL. Don't really care.
But you got to understand.
Hey, look, we'll cover the draft after the draft is over.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not going to get into the ins and outs and the mock drafts because
they're not done yet.
Yeah.
You can give your speculations all you want until it's actually done.
We can give our opinions on the draft, but they're going to be probably just as valid as the whole "if the glove don't fit, you must acquit" argument.
Yeah. But going on the Jets, I mean, they got the new logo and everything, but they got the same maintenance people working on the players.
It's
And I mean, look
it's
at
it's not a it's really not a new logo. It's a throwback. Honestly, it's a throwback logo. I mean,
they did like a what was it, like a 2-3? I was curious how much they paid for that commercial, for that little trailer. They spent about $2 to $3 million on that fucking trailer.
I mean, I was just waiting for Aaron Rodgers' other Achilles tendon to pop while he was standing there striking that pose for the for the
like
360 camera.
Yeah, just like most Boeings right now.
It's just like, ooh. Let me see here. So the Vikings tight end Hawkinson, he said that you get defensive players all around the league talking about, hey, this hip drop is just destroying the game, and the ban on it's destroying the game. Well, he said that the league needs to look into low hits.
Jesus fucking Christ! Are you going to be able to even touch? It's going to be touch football pretty
At
soon.
some point, yeah. I mean,
but not too hard. Like you can't touch him.
And
that was a very.
And I want to cut back into the left, like OJ, and I want to go back to baseball for a second because the injury thing reminded me. There's been a very bad problem with pitcher injuries in baseball over the last season and a half, actually the last 2 years. When they started instituting the pitch clock,
yeah, you got to throw a little bit faster.
Well, you have to. I mean, that and the trend towards high velocity pitchers. Okay, well, we're talking 95 and up. The percentage of guys that can throw 97, 98, 99, hit triple digits, the percentage of pitchers in the league has gone up like 10 or 12%. Okay. You can't maintain that over 162 games. You just can't do it. Now, there's a lot of different things that are going into it. A lot of guys are now throwing all year round. What they'll do is they'll go to camps during the off season, or they'll go down to the Dominican and play winter ball.
Just to keep the
just to keep into shape. Now, keeping in shape and keeping your mechanics sound are two completely different animals. Okay, you can lift and you can train and you can do calisthenics and stretching. You can get massage therapy. Just don't do the Deshaun Watson massage therapy all year. And you can do that all through the off season to maintain your durability. You can do that to maintain your stamina. And you start brushing off start scraping the rust off of your mechanics the closer you get to spring training. Maybe like a couple of weeks, like literally whenever the conference championship games finish in the NFL, start practicing on your pitching motion and ramp up all the way through the Super Bowl, because you're going to have to report the day or two after the Super Bowl's over. That way you show up to camp and you're ready to go. You start doing live bullpen sessions with your catchers, with the coaching staff in attendance, and they'll make the minor adjustments. Just don't throw all year round. And don't feel like we need to, and see, here's the thing. Baseball has gotten into the bad habit of having power arms. And power arms are going to eventually kill the game. Just like Colin Montgomery, whenever he got, he had to sign a 2-year deal with the Arizona Diamondbacks. He wanted to stay a Ranger. But Scott Boras, who is now his former agent, caused that whole holdout thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it was announced that Colin Montgomery fired Scott Boras as his agent, but hey, good for him. Too little, too late. But with these power arms, we have lost the ability, or pitchers rather have lost the ability to paint the corners, to locate. Gone are the days when we can make jokes like, don't hire John Smoltz to paint your house because he's only going to paint the corners. Okay. When we had pitchers like Tom Glavine, Randy Johnson, John Smoltz, even Nolan Ryan to an extent, he could locate. Now, granted, he was a hard thrower, and that's why he had to leave his last career game after blowing out his UCL. But you know, they've gotten so far towards that one side of the spectrum where it was like, you know, you have to be able to locate and control the pitch to a degree. You just have to hit those high numbers. Whereas if you don't have all the best velocity in the world, like look at Koji Uehara, all right, back in the 2013 season when he was the closer for the Boston Red Sox, his fastball might touch 91, but it averaged 88 to 89 miles an hour. And the reason why it was so good was he could locate it. And he had a deceptive delivery. His delivery for his four-seam fastball was the same as his split finger changeup.
So basically what you're saying is there's no imagination with the pitchers that much anymore.
The ability to pitch has almost disappeared from the game entirely.
Yeah, because how many pitches are there? I mean,
between pitching.
Well, okay, so you've got some pitchers that have an arsenal of 5 different pitches. You've got some that are relying on like just 2 pitches, some that go on 3, some have 4.
I mean the grand total of pitches,
okay, so so the question that you're asking is how many total pitches are there?
Yeah,
dude, that's a really hard number to quantify because you're talking about 4-seam, 2-seam fastballs. You got your cut fastball. You got your slider, which is considered a fastball. You got your breaking ball, which is kind of a generalized term. Breaking balls are sliders, curve balls. They're also called off-speed pitches. You got your knuckle balls. You got your knuckle curves. You've got your 12-6 curves. You've got slurves, which is a combination between a curve and a slider. I mean, and then there's the mythical fork ball, the screwball. I mean, there's all kinds of different pitches. I saw a video, and I just had to watch it, and it was like watching a train wreck, but it was a train wreck that I could laugh my way through. There was a guy that was talking about how he would hold a ball like this. He would cross his fingers and hold it like that.
yeah.
He said, "You don't throw that pitch. This pitch is called herpes, right?" He said, "I had a buddy. He threw this pitch. Now he did 12 years in county lockup waiting for trial." I'm sitting there. I'm like, wow, you know. And it was just. I mean, I know it was a parody, but and I'm sitting there going, I'm like, man, and it just kind of.
There's an element of truth to it, though.
There's an element of truth to it because it's like there are so many different names for I mean, because this is a 4-seam fastball where you hold it across the seams like that.
Yeah.
This is a 2-seam fastball, but it's also called a split finger pitch because your fingers are split across the seams. So there's a lot of different names for some of the same different pitches, for some of the same pitches. So trying to put a number on the different number of pitches that are out there in the game, it's really kind of hard. I mean, you've got guys, like I said, that if you show up to the minor, to the majors, if you show up in professional baseball, period, and you can throw low to mid 90s, if you can locate, you'll have a place in baseball. If you show up as a lefty and you can throw mid to low 90s and you can locate, you'll find a place on a major league roster somewhere.
Hey, you're gonna excel.
Yeah. So but the problem is not it's not the arsenal of pitches that people have. Okay. It's the ability to locate. It's the ability to not groove a fastball down somebody's powerhouse and put one in the cheap seats. Okay. It's the ability to control your velocities. You don't have to necessarily blow a guy away. If you can locate a pitch consistently, you can pound that strike zone and you force hitters to swing. Don't be afraid of contact. The strikeout has become this like elite club. Like you have to rack up as many strikeouts as you possibly can. And it falls in with this whole power pitcher, power arm thing. I don't necessarily agree with it. Yes, it's entertaining to see somebody throw 102, 105 miles an hour and just blow people away and see these big jacked up, hitters try to catch up with one, especially, a four-seam fastball that rises, which scientifically a fastball should not be able to rise. But you see those upper, those pitches that come at, shoulder level, and guys have no choice. I mean, their eyes get about as big as dinner plates, and they think, "Oh, I'm going to kill this ball," and they swing right through it. It's fun. It's entertaining to watch. It makes for great theater, but it plays hell on the livelihood of and the lifespan of a pitcher's shoulder and their elbow.
Yeah. And all they really need is have Hernandez like calling the shots on that. I mean, he'll call strikes a lot.
No, he won't, because in the same breath, because the previous week when he was behind the plate,
dead center, and he was
dead
calling
center,
balls.
down the middle, he was calling balls.
The dude is so inconsistent. That's the problem. Is like you can't, like if he was consistent in where he was missing, at least you could adjust for it. You could
That
it
last pitch,
sucks.
that one at bat that's going viral. That last pitch, that strike 3 call, was 6.36 inches outside the strike zone, which is the largest margin of error in the modern umpire stat tracking era.
Yeah. He had to move his glove an entire foot to get it back in frame.
Yeah. I mean, Angel Hernandez, hands down, he's a detriment to the game. He's about as good for baseball as Scott Boras is.
Yeah.
And I will stand on that hill.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not dying on that hill. I'm going to stand on that hill and defend it. And I am not the only one in the world that feels that way. But let me see here. Before we go into NASCAR news, I am going to send Colin the link here.
And we'll go in to the weird sport of the week. Chariot racing with motorcycles. This is so awesome. They get like motorcycles.
Actually very entertaining.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a poor man's rack and pinion steering system set up with 2 motorcycles.
Yeah.
I mean, it looks unsavory as all hell, but you've got a pretty solid cage supporting the balance on both of those bikes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, hell yeah, dude. Bring that on. I mean, would you catch me doing it? Probably not. But I'd buy tickets on a Saturday night to the county fairgrounds to watch that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I could probably be persuaded to give it a try.
I'd do it.
Good at it? Fuck no.
I all right. So
no.
to be fair,
But I could be persuaded.
Yeah.
to be fair, for me to be able to try that, I wouldn't be able to pass a not a drug test, a blood alcohol content test.
It's a close court, though.
I'd set the breathalyzer on fire.
Fair.
But like with my current diet, that would be like the ultimate cheat day of cheat days for me to be able to. Yeah. And plus my wife would have to be pretty snookered for her to even remotely entertain the idea of allowing me to do something like that.
Either A, she's pretty snookered to let you allow her to do it, or B, she put out a fat insurance policy on you.
No. See, if you knew half of the story, which I know you do, David, that last part of your statement holds no validity at all in this universe.
I know, but still. For me, that would be the second part.
You're just throwing it out there as filler because
yeah.
Okay, I see what you're doing. All right, yeah. All right, so we are waiting for Colin's page to load so that way we can bring him in. And just as a reminder for the viewing audience, yesterday Colin turned 15. Yeah. So
3
There-
more years and it becomes a man.
yeah. 3 more years.
How many more years until you do?
That will never happen.
You're a Toys R Us kid.
God, I was just man, I just remembered the whole Peter Pan theory that people put on Reddit. God, that what's sad is it makes sense. How Captain Hook is actually the good guy of the story only because of
I brought that up last week, didn't I?
I think
Yeah.
he did. I think that's what spawned it.
Yeah. Of course, every time I hear Second Star to the Right straight on till morning, I don't think Peter Pan anymore.
Nope.
I think Captain Kirk's last line in Star Trek 6, The Undiscovered Country.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I'd be damn if every time I don't hear it, I get a little bit choked up.
I haven't even watched the movie, and that's exactly what I think of.
I mean, of course, it's always preceded by the best line Spock ever had in the series. And he was like, I believe the human response would be, go to hell if I were human. Yeah, definitely. Because I've gotten my 2 youngest boys, I've gotten them up to Star Trek 4. We finished Star Trek 4. I've got it, David. Hey, there he is.
Love that shirt.
It's a Colin.
Yes, you.
Oh,
Love that shirt.
Thanks.
So should we assault his eardrums with our poorest a cappella rendering?
Yes.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Here
to
comes.
you.
All
I said the happiest even of birthdays
Happy birthday!
to you.
Thanks. You know what was real funny? Is
What?
like you each would cut in at separate times, so it wasn't all of you singing. It was one of y'all
No,
like at
so
separate times.
we have started a tradition in our family where, you know, we'll call people, you know, if they're not here for their actual birthday, we'll call them on FaceTime, and everybody will sing as off key as we can possibly manage.
Yeah, they sang so badly. I heard a total of 5 words of my happy birthday
Microphone on
song.
my phone was
rest-
cutting
the
out
rest
so
cut out.
bad. Yeah, it canceled out everybody.
Absolutely worth it.
It was horrible. But yeah, so it 15 years old. Oh my god, 15 years old.
Yeah.
almost
Well,
all
as your dad, I'm gonna say this. So as your dad, I'm very, very proud of you. I'm proud of all my kids. Very proud of them. But Colin, I'm very proud of what you've overcome, what you're accomplishing. I mean, this kid's getting straight A's in school right now.
Nice.
I saw his report card. Every one of them. There's not a grade below 93.
Nice.
So, with that being said, here we are, rising from the smoke and haze of desolation. It's much too foggy, but it's a Ronin, bent on wrongdoing that which has been said right. But here, for your ears and your eyes, even to feast upon, I mean, it's somebody's genetic code. But ladies, gentlemen, angry faithful, all ages, it's that time again for joke time with Colin. Bring the smoke, bud.
I'm looking at these, and I got all these last week. So like, how did Hella Keller lose her virginity? Her parents left the plunger in the toilet.
Oh,
Oh,
A
Bill,
lot- Just so you know, all but one joke this week is going to be Helen Keller jokes.
I mean, we could do like 10 minutes of OJ.
I mean,
Have you?
he didn't even give his wife and Ronald Goldman, the freaking 10 minutes. I mean, he came in, he told a couple of deep cutting jokes and bailed, dude. I mean,
Have you heard of the new Helen Keller doll? Wind it up and it walks into walls. Okay. Helen Keller went to town riding on a pony, stuck a feather in her hat, and called it.
I wasn't ready.
Oh my god.
Jesus. Sweet baby Jesus.
Oh man.
We got 3 more jokes.
Okay.
God.
What was Helen Keller's favorite color?
What?
Velcro.
What? Oh my god.
These are spicy. Oh my god.
Okay, you guys played Heads Up 7-Up when you were kids, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Helen Keller's the only one who never cheated in Heads Up 7-Up.
Oh.
Oh, that's rough. Oh, that's rough.
Mm.
Today's not the day for OJ Simpson joke.
Before you go there,
Oh.
I opened the show with that one. I did. I opened the show with that.
Yeah.
You horrible, horrible man for doing
Hey,
that.
I didn't know. He didn't run these jokes by me.
This is the one OJ joke I had. The one,
And he stole it.
and you ruined it.
Way to
I
kill it.
had it locked and loaded, ready to fire.
He was killing it.
I mean, yeah, he was killing it. I'm sorry. I slashed your jokes by 1. Yeah.
Oof.
And then there was deadly silence. Then there was deadly silence.
Yeah.
Turned around and walked away.
Now that Colin's here, have you guys watched the new Fallout series?
Hell
I'm
yeah, I
waiting
did.
until this weekend. I'm waiting until this weekend because I wanted to wait until Colin was here.
Oh,
Have
I
you guys
have
seen?
heard nothing but great things about it. It's rated 93% fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
perfection.
It's 100%.
Absolutely. It was a masterpiece.
Did it go up to 100% fresh?
Oh yeah, it should be 100%. It's that good.
Could be.
Oh, no.
No, I'm
Should
talking
be.
about the actual rating. It's either 91 or 93%
That's still
fresh.
it was freaking amazing. So
I mean,
good.
it's one of the few things that I've seen that's come out in the last few months, even almost within the last year, that both the critics and the fans have agreed on.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, there's only like one scene that I've seen.
They walked that line between satisfying existing fans and making it accessible to new fans.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
The
There
CinemaCon,
was so
the
much.
CinemaCon that just happened. Disney's portion of it. They showed 9 minutes of footage from Deadpool Wolverine.
Mhm.
And it started out with Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds in costume telling people to put their fucking phones away.
Yes. Awesome.
So, and then Dwayne The Rock Johnson took time out of his busy WrestleMania schedule to come in and announce Moana 2. Thank God it's going to be animated. Just kind of saying, well, I'm done.
Well,
I'm over the live action stuff, man. I really
How
am.
is 2 gonna fit in?
Yeah.
I
like,
don't know.
There's nothing left.
And every time I bring up this fan theory, I get dirty looks and arguments and people yelling at me here at the house that there's a fan theory that Moana actually died in that movie, died in the first one, and that she was served up by the ocean because when they go down into where the crab is.
Yeah.
Oh, Maui told her that only demigods can go through. Only demigods can go in there.
Yeah.
Yet she was supposed to be a mere mortal, and she worked her way in there.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I now whether or not I buy that theory, I'm just kind of saying I don't know. I've got no skin in the game. They also showed the first 32 minutes of Inside Out 2, and it supposedly went over really well with the audience there.
I'm still done with Disney. I think the only Disney movie that I'm going to watch this year is going to be Deadpool 3.
Have y'all seen the new X-Men?
Oh yeah, X-Men 97.
I haven't seen any episodes.
X-Men 97 is prime, dude. I mean,
I liked it.
It'll for those of you who are young enough, it'll take you back to Saturday morning cartoons on Fox.
Nice.
Young enough?
Am I young enough? No, because why?
No.
Those X-Men cartoons came out whenever I was in the Army.
No, you said young enough.
Yeah, I'm talking about people like Chris. He might be just young enough.
Oh yeah, I remember Saturday morning cartoons. Hell yeah.
I mean, I do too. But I also remember Bugs Bunny and Friends when we still had Speedy Gonzalez cartoons.
Right.
That's that and Pepe Le Pew.
Yeah, and Pepe Le Pew. Now, yeah, God.
Yeah,
Now, okay, so my daily after school TV schedule, I remember the most. Like whenever we lived in Hawaii, I'd get home from school, and we had Star Blazers, right? With the Yamato, Battleship Yamato. It was Star Blazers, He-Man, She-Ra, and then it was the Muppet Show. It was reruns of the Muppet Show, the original Muppet Show. Those were my afternoons coming home from school.
Yeah,
that was great.
We would tape because that was back when I was in high school. They would have reruns of the Three Stooges overnight.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we would set the VCR, we would record them, and the first thing we do when we get home is we had a list of all the episodes that we had already recorded.
Mm-hmm.
We would go in and double check and see if we already had them. If not, we'd switch them over to another tape and then and watch those. So yeah, our Three Stooges was the thing. Love Three Stooges.
You remember when on New Year's Eve TNT would do like marathons of different shows?
Oh yeah.
Dude, I got hooked on The Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, dude, that was so great. And then there was I think it was either AMC or it might have been TNT. Like a couple of years in a row, they would do like 24 hours of the Three Stooges.
Yeah.
I think hey, Johnny, do Colin's outro real quick and just keep on talking about that.
Right.
All right, so here we go. And just like that, he's gone without regard or care for your moral well-being. You, unfortunately, have been witness to yet another traumatic episode of this guy's genetic code assaulting your soul without consent. It's so violent. I just don't know what to do. But, ladies, gentlemen, again, Angry Faithful of all ages, this was joke time with Colin. Okay. So CinemaCon, the Paramount list of announced movies, projects coming up for the year. It's going to be a strong year for movies. If definitely going to check that one out.
Yeah.
A Quiet Place Day One. There's an animated Transformers movie called Transformers One.
Yeah. They're also going to do G.I. Joe and Transformers.
Yeah, they're going to be it's a live action G.I. Joe Transformers crossover, which I remember reading the crossover comic books back in the day, like back in the 80s. There's a Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Yeah, it was Shadows. Now, Sega did announce that for the next year and a half, they are going to be dedicating a lot of Sonic projects heavily towards Shadow. They also showed footage from Gladiator 2. That went over really well.
Cannot wait for that.
There is a new animated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie coming out.
Dude, yes.
And there's also rumors that they're in production or pre-production for a live-action Last Ronin movie. There's a new animated Airbender or Avatar: The Last Airbender franchise as well.
With an
I
adult,
think it's going to be a prequel.
yeah, it's an adult Aang.
Yeah. Oh, so it's a sequel. Okay.
Yeah, but it's like bridging the gap.
It's going to be like
it's bridging between the original
Airbender
and Legend of Korra.
Yeah, and then there was an update on Mission Impossible 8. It's going to be delayed through 2025. So we're not going to get the last Mission Impossible installment until next year. Which I finally sat down and watched Mission Impossible 7 in 2000. So good.
I still haven't seen it.
So good.
I've never seen a Mission Impossible movie.
We're going to take care of that this summer.
You know what's actually pretty interesting that came out? I mean, it's straight to DVD, but it's DC Animation, and they're doing the Infinity Crisis.
Really?
Yeah. The first one dropped like a couple of months ago, and the next one's going to drop, I think, the 24th, 25th.
Yeah. There's going to be a new installment of the Scary Movie comedy franchise.
Yes, I saw that one. I can't wait for that.
There's going to be a Bee Gees biopic directed by Ridley Scott.
Okay, cool.
Nobody gives a shit about the Bee Gees.
Okay, yeah.
Dude, say what you
Ridley
want, Bee Gees, man. Ridley Scott's going to be doing it.
Almost be worth it to watch it just because.
Yeah.
Of that.
Oh, and this is going to be the one. This is going to be the one. All right. The Naked Gun remake starting Liam Neeson.
Yes. I heard about it.
That's going to be so great. Now this is the one that I'm on the fence about. I'm not really sure. I really wish we need Star Trek on the big screen again. However, we need more Adventures of the Enterprise, right? Not the original crew, not the next generation. We need a proper closure for the Picard series is a feature-length movie.
I think they closed it up pretty damn good.
They did, but I don't know, man. Or at least start Star Trek Legacy on the big screen. But this one's going to be, it's being tagged as Star Trek Origins. It's supposed to be an origin story. And I'm sorry. Here's why I'm not excited about it. Origin stories have been overdone.
Yes.
Because anytime somebody decides that they want to do an origin story, whoever's directing, writing, or producing that particular origin story is going to put their spin on it. And then it's going to be tagged as some kind of, it's not well received. They're going to be like, oh, well, it's just an alternate timeline. Well, then what the fuck did you call it an origin story?
Dude, they did a TV series called Pennyworth about Alfred. I mean, they're stretching it out for ideas.
And that's why I said, do an IP. Do an IP. Just do something new. Okay. We don't need to keep rehashing things. We don't need to keep It's like, you know, when Marvel Studios finally got a hold of Spider-Man and they did Homecoming, we didn't have to suffer through the whole Uncle Ben dying thing again because he had already been bitten. Uncle Ben's already dead. We didn't have to rehash that because everybody knows the origin story.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Even comic people that aren't comic book fans are familiar with the freaking story already.
yeah, now there's a new original horror movie titled Vicious starring Dakota Fanning. That sounds interesting. And a new musical from South Park creators Trey Parker and Matt Stone with music from Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah. The animated Turtles movie is called Mayhem or Mutant Mayhem. It's a sequel. Aang the Last Airbender. It's got the voice cast featuring, so it's going to be an animated movie. It's going to be Eric Nam as Aang and Dave Bautista as the film's villain. So yeah, it should be interesting.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic. So let me see here. Now with the Disney, they did announce Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. They showed 9 minutes of footage from that. So everybody that saw that was like, we were on the fence about it, but now we're excited.
I saw some trailers for it. It actually looks pretty good.
Yeah. And then, you know, everybody who has even the most remotest interest in anything Ryan Reynolds is excited for Deadpool and Wolverine.
Oh, of course.
Inside Out 2 was as you know, we know was announced. That's coming out June 14th of this year. So 9 times out of most likely that's on Reagan's birthday. So and I get my boys for the summer the day after. So we'll probably go see that maybe if not opening weekend, maybe like opening week kind of.
Did you see the popcorn buckets?
Yes, I saw the popcorn buckets and thankfully they were not Fleshlight-esque like the Dune buckets were.
What are you talking about? They were.
Well, they were. I mean, they were very
It was more subtle.
it was more subtle. I mean, well, I don't know.
No.
The Wolverine one was very subtle. The Deadpool one was overtly kind of just out there. Alien Romulus was announced at the Disney CinemaCon press conference, and they showed some footage from that, a teaser trailer from that. And people were kind of like, because, you know, the last few Alien movies have been kind of, you know, mid at best. People are excited. I mean, they're genuinely excited about it. Of course, Moana 2 was announced. There was a Mufasa the Lion King. It's kind of like it's a, let me see here.
It's a
I think it's a prequel for like.
It is a prequel. It says Jenkins described it as the first look at the teaser that should be eventually released. It starts off on a snowy mountain with a pride of lions lying under a bunch of giant icicles. Rafiki narrates this story and describes it as being about a lion who will change everyone's lives. I can do without it. Of course, they announced Captain America: Brave New World. They showed some footage of that by Harrison Ford. They announced Thunderbolts. Thunderbolt has an asterisk in the title, and it is part of the title. Kevin Feige said that will be explained later. And that was all he said about it.
The Captain America, the new Captain America movie that's coming out, they had to rewrite it and reshoot it. So yeah. I'm not excited about the Marvel Cinematic Universe right now, only because of the basic fact of how they have to change on me.
They're basically having to reboot this entire phase because of Jonathan Majors.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So honestly, I think that they should, go forward and they should recast it. Bless you. They should recast Kang the Conqueror. I mean,
well, it's not even that,
because we've seen variants from other universes already that don't look like our universes.
Okay. It's not just Kang they're gonna have to rewrite and everything. They're gonna have to rewrite because they've been fucking up the movies in general. Nobody watched the Marvels. Nobody watched
Crap.
The Marvels was a really great
I
movie.
did like it. I liked it.
We finally sat down and we watched it on Disney Plus the first weekend of this month when I was up in Wichita Falls. Me and the boys were chilling out in the hotel and we watched The Marvels. I enjoyed it.
I liked it.
I couldn't.
Did
And
you
like the
watch it at
post
all?
credit
Did you not
scene.
like it, or
I
did you
haven't
just
watched
look
it
at
yet.
and
That's
you're
why I
like,
said I couldn't yet. I just. I don't
And the
know.
post credit scene
Before
opens
you-
up
okay,
so much.
so before you watch The Marvels, we know that you watched Scarlet Witch, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know about Rambo.
Yeah.
Watch Miss Marvel,
I watched
the series. You did? Okay, so you know
I
about
just kept on getting bored of them.
right. Okay, but it ties that whole line together. All right.
No, I know that.
The
I know
Marvels, and they didn't overdo the story. They didn't punch a bunch of nostalgia in there. They didn't need to I think they didn't really feel the need to overwrite this movie. And I enjoyed it. I mean, it was really, really enjoyable. And trust me, when I went into watching this with a bated breath, I mean, the bar was set really low. Once we got done watching it, I was really happy that we sat down and took the time to watch it.
Mm.
And I'm saying that as probably one of the more, avid supporters of Marvel took a nosedive after Endgame.
Yeah. But they're getting a lot of flack even with the new Fantastic Four that they're pushing out because they want a woman Silver Surfer. That's what's happening.
Canonically, it's accurate because there is a female Silver Surfer in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, Nova.
Yeah, so I mean, it's not outside. It's not
Well, it's not the Silver Surfer. It's Nova.
Is she going to be Nova or is she going to be Silver Surfer?
She's going to be a Silver Surfer.
Silver
It's
Surfer.
not Nova.
Going to be Nova, or is it? Are they going to call her Silver Surfer?
Here's my deal with this.
Okay.
Here's my deal with this. Instead of making a new character and giving a new backstory and being creative with doing that, even creating a whole new villain, they're going in and it's like, hey, we know this is X, Y, and Z. We don't give a shit about your fans.
As far as that particular character, yeah. Okay. Now,
I mean, they could. Okay.
here's the thing: Kevin
female,
Feige in the Marvel division at Disney have been getting so much crap over the last 15, 20 years because they haven't. I mean, they've used the source material as a suggestion, as instead of a guideline, and so they're trying to pull from the actual source material more. Now, don't misconstrue this. I'm not trying to champion the Marvel division. I'm not trying to champion Kevin Feige, but I'm definitely not trying to champion Disney. Don't get me sideways. Okay? But the thing of it is that they're trying to at least be more true to the source material. In the comic books, there is a female Silver Surfer. Yes, I understand. There's one that's named Nova, but there's actually a second one that's out there. Now, they haven't released a ton of information about it, but the one thing that I am looking forward to the most is that Henry Cavill is going to be Dr. Doom.
Right. See, the problem that Marvel ran into after
He's not going to be Dr. Doom.
They
changed. I think they changed.
They already announced. No, dude, they announced this and it was recited like 3 days ago at CinemaCon. In fact, Reed Richards is in the Marvel universe and in the MCU. Reed Richards is the one that bought Stark Tower after Tony Stark died.
Mm-hmm.
I like the
And there's Easter eggs about that in Spider-Man No Way Home.
The only good Fantastic Four movie, in my opinion, is the one where Chris Evans is the Human Torch.
Right, the original one, yeah. Now, Warner Brothers, they announced their lineup for the coming year. You have Joker Folie à Deux, which is the second movie. It's going to be more of a musical. It's going to have Lady Gaga in it playing Harley Quinn. I'm not excited about that at all.
A lot of this stuff with DC, the problem is they try to overdo it a lot, and they don't do it well.
Yeah.
Like
Now-
I liked the actor for Harley Quinn already. She did a good job.
You know, I'm
Oh, no.
mildly interested in the Furiosa Mad Max saga. It's got Anna Taylor-Joy in it, but it's kind of a spin-off, so we're getting away from Mad Max himself. They're starting to focus on some more of the more secondary characters, which I think is kind of interesting, because I love Mel Gibson, love Tom Hardy's portrayal of Mad Max, loved the game, the one that WB or Warner Brothers
I
Interactive
played the
came out
game. I
with.
haven't seen any in the movies.
But the game was amazing. Loved it. Right, there was a lot of grind to it, a lot of repetitive. It felt almost like a post-apocalyptic type, like Assassin's Creed sort of ish game. I liked it, but I'm
Driving mechanics were amazing.
yeah. Oh,
You
yeah.
know what it felt like to me? The combat, at least. Some of the combat kind of reminded me of the Arkham games combat.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
That was deliberate. It was actually based on it was
It was the same engine.
correctly brought over. Yeah,
Yeah, it was the
I
same.
even believe they used the same engine.
Warner Brothers big bank for the year. Beetlejuice 2.
Yeah, that would be a big bank.
I am
Yeah.
on board every day of the week for that. And in fact, it's supposed to open up in theaters on September 6th.
Have y'all seen the Broadway Beetlejuice?
No.
I really like the guy that does Beetlejuice in the Broadway. Like he does a lot of good voice acting.
And let me see here. Opening night, September 6th. Yeah, that's a Friday. That's the first Friday of September. So I'm gonna definitely not see it opening night, but definitely we're gonna try to do everything we can to make sure that we're there opening weekend to see that movie. That's gonna be such a good movie. There's a movie called Mickey 17, shows the many lives of Robert Pattinson's Mickey. Let me see here.
I can't wait for Abigail this weekend.
No, the ungentlemanly warfare.
Oh,
That-
yeah.
Weekend too.
M. Night Shyamalan's got a new movie coming out. It's called Trap.
I
And no,
want
David, it's not the same kind of trap that you look at on the internet.
to see that Civil War movie that came out. Or is
No,
gonna
okay, so Civil War has
A lot
gotten
of
a lot of mixed reviews.
Yeah.
One, it was written by an anti-Trumper, but and I've also heard that if you go into it with the expectation of a war movie, you are going to be sadly underwhelmed and disappointed.
Yeah.
If you go into it with an open mind, you're going to be pleasantly surprised. You might walk out of it with a 6 out of 10 rating. If you're going to go in there trying to pick apart the gunplay, from what I understand, has been it's been said to have been choreographed kind of
haphazardly.
75% ish, right? One of like with the
I realize
promotional
that, but
poster
these-
where you see that sniper nest and the torch of Lady Liberty. One of the biggest comments that you see on social media platforms is like, a good artillery strike will take care of that mosquito.
The main reason why I want to see that movie is because Nick Offerman is the president in that movie, and I really like that, and he's a good actor.
Yeah, Nick Offerman's a good actor.
I like him in Parks and Rec as Ron.
But it doesn't so much focus on the war aspect or the combat aspect of it. The one thing that's really turning a lot of people off, and I can understand why, because I'm in this boat, is the fact that it's under the premise that once the United States is split up into its separate, different factions, that somehow, some way, the states of California and Texas allied themselves with each other.
Yeah, that was funny.
I'm kind of like, when I saw that, and I was like, what?
Really?
How? Like, was there suddenly a redneck uprising in California just before the Civil War kicked off, and like,
Yeah.
they banished everybody? What's going on there?
Yeah, that's possible.
Hey, I mean,
There are a lot of rednecks in Northern California.
there are a lot of rednecks in Northern California. I mean, as a matter of fact, there used to be a state referendum. I think it was even as late as last year. There was a proposal that was sent to the California legislature to split California into two states. North California wanted to secede from California.
Yep.
And
I
of course
got
it died. It didn't even get remotely close to the governor's desk, because the Democrats knew that if California was split, they'd automatically lose those 33 electoral votes.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like, boy, that's rough. But yeah, no, this M. Night Shyamalan movie, it's called Trap. It told us that it said that his daughter Salika, who is a musician, helped him form an idea for the project. Now, as for what the movie is about, Trap looks to tell the story of an immersive experience, like a concert that turns into a thriller. When the concert begins and the singer Lady Raven, played by his daughter, comes on the stage, something terrible happens, and you come to find out this has all been a trap to capture a wanted serial killer who's played by Josh Hartnett. I am now suddenly interested.
Where's he been lately?
Yeah, right. Now there's a movie called Horizon, an American Saga. It's a 2-part Western epic that stars and is directed, produced, and co-written by Kevin Costner. Okay. All right. Let me see here. It's a story set in the Civil War expansion and settlement of the American West. So this is post 1860s. Let me see here. He said he first tried to make these films back in 1988 and then in 2012. And now he's happy, so happy he finally gets to get them across the finish line. However, his full plan for Horizon involves 4 movies that tell more of the story. That is cool. He said he also wants music to be an important focus for this epic, and he even went to Scotland to get 92 musicians to work on the score. Okay. The first part comes out June 28th of this year, and the second part will be released in August.
The Watchers is the first one that's coming up, though. That was another M. Night Shyamalan movie.
Okay, well, I was just talking about I'm just going over CinemaCon.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Where's it at?
On Netflix, there's a series called Arcane, and it's going to have season 2, and I'm excited for it. It's based off the League of Legends game.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cool.
There was DreamWorks made an announcement. Of course, they re-announced Despicable Me 4.
Yeah.
A lot of people are kind of like, me. I'm like, dude, bring it. Like, I'm always up for Steve Carell. So there's that. But really, there wasn't a whole lot else.
There's a couple of good movies that are coming out, but like Abigail's another one. That's a weird tale about a vampire ballerina that gets trapped in a house with their kidnappers. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I think it might be like a horror comedy type deal.
Man, I'm glad that we have things like CinemaCon, and then obviously like the San Diego Comic-Con is still there. But the one thing that I wish that they would bring back is the E3.
Yes.
Yeah.
I miss E3.
E3, Colin, E3 is the Electronic Entertainment Expo. That's why they call it the E3, right? The 3 E's. But it was like the video game industry's biggest night, or biggest weekend, or biggest week, rather. It was always held, I think it was in San Diego, or in LA.
I think it was LA. I don't think
it was LA. All the biggest development companies, all the biggest publishers, all three console producers were there: Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo. And I mean, you walk in there and you walk out with probably close to $500 to $600 worth of free crap. And a lot of times I know that, like, back in the day when Microsoft held their press conference, when they so you remember back in the days of the Xbox 360 when I love you. So back in the day of the Xbox 360, whenever they announced the Xbox 360 Slim, and it looked like the little bow tie, right? That coincided with the release of Halo 3, I think it was. And so that was still current generation. It was just new console revamping, right? Better hardware kind of a deal. When they announced the new 360 Slim, everybody who was in attendance at the press conference went home with one.
Oh wow!
A month and a half before they were released. I'm sitting there going, "Damn!" Because at the time I worked there. I worked at GameStop part time back then, and worked with a really great guy. I'm still friends with him today, John Thomas. Today he works for he's a regional supervisor manager for Lids. But yeah, it's dude, I remember calling him, and because I had been watching it kind of live stream on Twitter, I think it was, as a matter of fact. Yeah, on Xbox's Twitter account back when it was still Twitter. I called him up. I was like, dude, when are we getting those in stock? And he's like, dude, I don't even know. He's like, we just got the email that says be prepared for the SKU, because you couldn't reserve anything unless there was a SKU in the system, right?
Right.
So, but it was one of those situations where it was like, I got to have that, and we eventually did. We did get one, and I still have it. It's actually upstairs. Because when I bought that, it came out with the Kinect, the original Kinect. Still, I think to this day, that's still one of the more underdeveloped and underused peripherals that Xbox ever came out with, to be completely honest with you.
I agree. The games that they did try to come out with were just awful. Looking at you, Star Wars.
Yeah, looking at you, Star Wars. But with I mean, come on, the Han Solo dance party. Come on.
No, that doesn't exist. That is only a myth. It does not exist.
So we're acknowledging the holiday special, the Christmas special, but not
Barely.
Kinect Star Wars. Yeah, okay.
Barely.
But
But
Kinect Adventures and Kinect Sports.
right.
I loved that.
Yeah, that was good.
But I want E3 back, man. I really do. I think the organizers and everything like that, they were just basically kind of told, you're not going to help. Because COVID really killed E3.
Yeah. Well, it was kind of on a downward swing even before COVID, though.
Yeah, and I think a lot of that was just due to the fact that there wasn't a lot of A+ titles being released around that time.
Well, you also, let's be honest. The big three wanted their spotlight without anybody else shining on them. Like, they didn't want the Xbox. I would even put most of that on PlayStation, to be honest with you, because PlayStation.
Yeah, for like you give PlayStation all the props that you want. They've got a lot of the great exclusives, whatever.
Yeah.
Sony has done their fair share of crapping on the video game industry.
Yes.
But
not allowing cross platform.
Right. I mean, Helldivers 2, anybody? But the one thing that I loved about E3, aside from the video games, was the ability to see what people like LG, Vizio, a lot of the TV provider, or the TV builders, like the HD, this is when 4K was like not a thing yet, and they came out with they introduced the 4K TV.
Those curved screen TV when those first came out. That was
the Samsung curved TVs. Yeah, I mean, I've got a Samsung curved monitor on my desk, so
right.
You can see it. It's right here, but it. Yeah, I mean, just seeing and like when Nokia was still a thing. I mean, Apple had a symposium. Samsung. I mean, just you saw all the cool gadgets. I mean, a lot of them didn't make it to production, but the fact that it was there and you could do hands on a lot of them. It was like SHOT Show for nerds.
Yeah, it's accurate,
and it was great. I mean, and on top of that, I mean, E3 next to the San Diego Comic-Con was like the place to be if you wanted to see the latest in cosplay.
Yeah.
And back when cosplay was cosplay, and it wasn't like, hey, I'm an Oscar Foxtrot, creator. I just happen to do cosplay. It wasn't an advertisement for somebody's website. It was people genuinely excited to reproduce or emulate their favorite show or game. And it was all about the creativity of building those costumes, building the props, and making them as accurate as possible. I mean, that to me was that was the definition of Renaissance right there.
Oh yeah.
We need a Pregali Coloni for baseball. He's I've been watching like the best referees in all of sports, and his name keeps on coming up for like football. I mean, he was on FIBA soccer
FIFA?
game. Yeah, FIFA.
Yeah.
He was on the FIFA cover of FIFA.
See, okay,
of a referee
again, and I'll say this just like I did at the top of the show. Referees should never be in it for notoriety.
Well, you never was
or famous. Okay. You should not be a part of the storyline.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. At all. The game is not about you. The game's not even about the players. It's about the game, not how it gets called correctly or incorrectly. It's not about the people who, are like freakish phenoms at it and their generational talent. I mean, that's great. That's whatever. It's about the story of the game itself. But I don't know. There is one sport that we have not gone over yet, and that is NASCAR. The Texas Motor Speedway hosted the NASCAR series, all 3 series this weekend. Fun fact: Ford has yet to take a checkered flag in any of the top 3 series yet this year. That's the Trucks, Xfinity, and Cup Series. Ford has not won a race.
That's probably because most of the people are still in the cars.
No. Most of it is on the Xfinity and Cup side. Ford's got a new body. They've got the Mustang Dark Horse. So some of the notes are still applicable, but I mean, they're still trying to figure out the body. They're still trying to figure out the aerodynamic packages for this particular car. With the Truck Series, Toyota and Chevy are really strong because their body styles didn't necessarily change. There's just not a lot of Ford backing in the Truck Series, which is sad to say. But in the Cup Series this weekend, Kyle Larson took the pole again for the 3rd week in a row. He started up front, and he was strong, and he was the car to beat. And in fact, he even led the most laps yesterday on Sunday's race. It was just under caution. He lost a right rear wheel. It just clean off the car. Which it's lucky that happened under yellow, because if that tire would have been going 190 mile an hour plus and come off the car,
the car wouldn't be going with it.
Yeah. No, the car wouldn't be going with it. it would have been a bigger wreck, and for Kyle Larson, probably would have taken out a couple of other contending cars.
They would.
But that tire probably and very well could have ended up in the stands.
Yeah.
He radioed his guys in his pit crew, and he was like, "Hey, I just lost my right rear wheel," and he came in. Now, NASCAR's rule is that if a tire comes off, the tire changer and the tire carrier, along with the crew chief, are getting an involuntary vacation from the next couple of weeks. And that's just because it's a safety issue. But they came in, they put a tire on it, they held him for 2 laps. It was a 2-lap penalty. He actually made it back to the lead lap, but his car just never really kind of it handled well, and he was making his way back up through the field. I think he made it as far up as 18th before his car just finally it spun out. He can start strong at those 1.5-mile tracks. I mean, we were there last year in the fall, and we saw him dominate most of that race. And it was just a little mistake where he hung the right rear corner out, and the car got out from underneath him, and he spun it and backed it into the wall. But Hendrick Motorsports showed out, and Chase Elliott, running the Hooters paint scheme for the number 9 Chevy Camaro, managed to muscle his way past Danny Hamlin and won the race. Danny Hamlin actually ended up wrecking out. His car got loose coming out of turn 4, and he put it in the wall. It was actually in between turns 3 and 4, but he backed it into the wall and tore his car up something bad. So he took a DNF on the day, which made people in the stands pretty elated. It took 2 overtime restarts, green white checker finishes for them to get the race in. But he took home the victory for his first win of the year. He had gone 42 races in a row without a victory. So he broke a winless streak. They sounded the siren at the Dawsonville Pool Hall back in his hometown of Dawsonville, Georgia. Now you're scratching your head and you're giving me that bewildered deer in the headlights look, David. But what that means is that Chase Elliott's dad, former NASCAR champion Bill Elliott, every time he would win, the pool hall there in Dawsonville, Georgia, would sound this old-fashioned siren.
Yeah.
Every time Bill Elliott won. That tradition started up again whenever Chase started driving.
Oh, okay.
So they sounded and they called it the siren. So they sounded the siren yesterday in Dawsonville. It was Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski driving his own number 6 Ford, finished second. So Roush Keselowski Racing they're starting to turn the corner. They're starting to get some of the results that they've been really kind of looking for since Brad Keselowski took over took ownership in that race team. I think that we're going to see one or more of his cars, in victory lane before the end of the season. Look for them to be a strong contender next week because they are going to Talladega, which is a super speedway. It's a 2.5-mile track. William Byron finished 3rd. Tyler Reddick in the 2311 45 Toyota finished 4th. Daniel Suarez finished 5th. Chase Briscoe in the Stewart Haas Ford number 14 finished 6th. Bubba Wallace finished 7th. Austin Dillon recovered from a really rough day and took advantage of a lot of really bad accidents, bad luck from some of these other top contending cars. He brought it home 8th. Kyle Busch managed to come home 9th. And Carson Hocevar finished 10th, rounded out the top 10. And he started, let me see here. Where did he start? He started 16th. So, I mean, he had pretty much like a career day yesterday at Texas. Other notables, strong contender early on. He started 9th. Martin Truex Jr. finished 14th. Ty Gibbs, Joe Gibbs' grandson, his entitled grandson, finished. He started the race 2nd and finished 13th. Ty Dillon was having a craptastic day. Started the race 36th, finished in 16th position. Christopher Bell had a really rough day. He was the cause of a couple of different cautions. He started the race third, finished 17th. Noah Gregson started 21st, finished 18th. So it was a positive day for him. Let me see here. Kyle Larson, biggest loser of the day, started on the pole, finished 21st. He did manage to finish on the lead lap, but it could have been a better day for him. Just everything kind of went downhill after he lost that tire during the caution lap. The person that I felt bad for the most was Alex Bowman. He started the race 14th, but he had a strong car in the 48 Ally Camaro for Hendrick Motorsports. He got caught up in the first caution of the day. He was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He got sideswiped from a car coming back down the track. He was one of the first cars out, and he finished the day 37th. But like I said, next week they're going to Talladega for the Geico 500, and that is a 500-mile race. It is going to be on Fox MRN, which is the Motor Racing Network, and Sirius XM. You can catch it on the Sirius XM network in your car or the Sirius XM app on your mobile device or laptop computer. This race will start at 2 p.m. Central Time. The thing about Talladega, the thing about Daytona, the thing about the new setup for Atlanta is it's all about the draft. You can have a really good day, and if somebody runs out of talent at any point during the race, they could wad up 15, 20, they could wad up anywhere from one car, or they could wad up 15 cars. It's all about it's the running commentary on restrictor plate races or super speedway races is not if the big one happens, it's when the big one happens. And so just kind of be looking for that. You're going to see a lot of you're going to hear a lot of talk about manufacturers lining up, organizing pit stops at the same time. You're going to see Ford's pitting together, Toyota's pitting together, Chevy's pitting at the same time. Just for whatever reason, at those particular tracks, those types of races, manufacturers just kind of come in during the drivers' meeting, before the race, and they say, "Hey, this is the way it's going to be." And then once you guys get towards the end of the race, every man for himself, kind of a deal. It's all about finding the right runs at the right time. It's one of those races where you can run wide open all the way around. But usually if you're running wide open all the way around, you're running up front, which isn't necessarily a good thing for the entire race. Because if you're running wide open all the way around, you're using the most fuel. Whereas if the from second all the way back, as long as you're in the draft, the further away from the front you are, the less throttle you have to use to maintain top speed. What are you smiling about, David?
Most of Chris's posts while he's been on this podcast on Facebook.
Most of one thing.
Yeah, so to me, that kind of sounded like Buddy's only half the word, dude. I mean, the way he painted you, Chris, was the fact like you could care less about being a part of an active part of the conversation. You're just there scrolling through social medias and making posts like you're just here. You're eye candy. You don't really care,
I am eye candy.
You are eye candy, but the way David kind of made it sound was like you weren't participating, you weren't contributing, you weren't,
No, I wasn't suggesting that. I was just
that's exactly what it sounded like.
Very well.
He didn't say it so much as he just very heavily hinted.
He heavily implied, yeah. Like he didn't steal your thunder, he just strategically acquired it for a little bit.
It's true.
He waited until you found a shortage in the player, and he decided to let you soak up, absorb the statement of charges.
See, I didn't kick him underneath the bus. I gently pushed him underneath it.
No, it was the afternoon. It was actually the morning commute in downtown New York City, and you threw him onto the third rail. That's what you did.
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree with that one.
He treated him like a murderous illegal immigrant, an undocumented alien, and he threw him on the third rail and then walked away.
Jesus, how
Hey,
many
you know what
how
you
many times did that
You
happen?
want to know what you made me remember? You made
You
me
should
remember the joke I told at Gravy and Pawpaws about Ben.
Okay. So my brother-in-law, Ben, is what my sister affectionately refers to as the family Mexican.
Okay.
Yeah. and you know, people act, people seem to forget that this has been kind of like an ongoing joke since since he's been a part of the family. And I was reminded of that fact on one of my Facebook memories that came across at the beginning of the month. Back when Texas Motor Speedway had 2 NASCAR dates, right? Colin was, I don't know, 8 years old. Took him to his first race, and my sister and brother-in-law, they came with us. And like, I'm kind of narrating a little Facebook Live, and I panned the camera over. I said, wave, say hi, Ben. Everybody say hi to the family Mexican. And he was like, hey, what's going on? He was cool with this, right? He just didn't want us calling him Uncle Ben because, there's a whole thing with being called Uncle Ben, because then
Yeah,
then
you either serve
we have
rice
to
or
stay away from public libraries and things of that nature. But he's been cool with this from day one, right? And my sister, the last weekend I was up there, Wichita Falls, she was like, oh my God, Ben's been the family Mexican for 10 years now. And we were like, oh my God, yeah, that's right. And then Colin cracked off with a joke, and myself and my oldest son, we started dying. And my mom was like, Colin. Go ahead, Colin.
It's a good joke.
It's funny.
Okay, so at my grandparents' house, they have this little sign that says, "We're one tent away from being a full-blown circus." And my oldest brother Chauncey's like, "We don't need a tent." And Dad's like, "Well, if we got a tent, we'd have to hire movers to put it up and down." I'm like, "Isn't that what Ben's for?"
I mean, Ben was kind of, to his credit, he was
He
cool.
wasn't even in the room.
He goes, yeah, he was. He was sitting
No, he
right.
wasn't. He was outside playing with Leilani.
That's right, he was. But
He
we
wasn't
told him
even there
about
to
it.
defend himself.
He came in and he was told about it, and he goes, I mean, it's not wrong. So, I mean, he's completely cool with it, right? So I mean, it's all in fun. It's very tongue in cheek. I mean, we don't mean it at all.
I mean, Chauncey was making jokes too. He
I
was
mean,
like,
yeah, Chauncey was making jokes about it. I mean, he was like, you've been in the family for 10 years as the resident Mexican, and I've yet to see you mow a lawn. He's like, I've done it once or twice. He goes, that's not true. Why does Grandpa's front yard look the way that it does?
he was like, only 2 times for 10 years. Got to bump those numbers up.
Yeah, he's got to bump those numbers up, man. Those are rookie numbers. But yeah, we're oh God, we're coming up on 2 hours. So I don't know. What do you guys think? We should land the plane, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because some of us have things like more thermodynamics homework to do, and I'm just like, oh my
Yeah, I got school tomorrow.
God.
I gotta edit.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Edit? You mean you just have to upload?
Yeah, I gotta upload to the other side. Jerk
No,
off.
what are you talking about? What,
Edit. Shut up.
What? What editing?
Shut up,
What is
man.
that? God. Any editing we do is live, and it's called a filter, and it's only because we have to sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I mean, there's certain buzzwords.
Only when
you can
Only
use.
when Johnny gets carried away.
Yeah, only when I get carried away, and apparently we can't quote certain scenes from like Predator anymore, so it's all good.
I gotta watch my joke.
Tyrannosaurus like me, but yeah, yeah. So
Bunch of slack jawed.
slack-jawed pansy boys. We're slowly like giving David miniature heart attacks. And you could almost hear his sphincter puckering up and then just attaching itself to his chair. Ugh.
Yeah, I think that's the cause of all my dismay now.
Look, no, we are not the reason why you prolapse, dude. That's not on us.
That's true.
That's your lifestyle.
Maria's been the
Those are your choices.
Yeah, right. Those are your
in a few weeks.
Yeah, Maria's been she's been absent.
She's been busy.
She's out on the road again.
She has been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's on the road again.
She does not have time for us anymore. So I don't know. I'm thinking maybe we start taking nominations for new Superfan. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, we got. That's gonna be the scene from Masters of Disguise, when they're finding an apprentice.
Yeah. Just don't go into a maniacal laugh because you will fart. Just kind of.
Yeah.
She doesn't get the mama caboose.
I don't know if that's more traumatizing for us or her because it's like he's a 15-year-old talking about her mama caboose.
Dude, that movie is so bad and it's so funny.
Yeah, I like those movies that are bad.
At least it advertised itself as a comedy, unlike Madam.
I would much rather have a movie be bad and funny than it being boring. 'Cause at least I'll remember the bad movie.
Very true. Very.
You
true.
get to make fun of the bad movie.
You do. You
There's
get
You get to do full riff tracks on it.
There's a scene in Masters of Disguise where the main character just out of nowhere, for no reason, is on the rooftop, and he watches his dad get kidnapped, and they explain for no reason why he's on the rooftop. He's just like,
and then miraculously he ends up on the street.
yeah,
Like if he could have moved that fast, why didn't he intervene?
Yeah.
so you
Because it
know,
wasn't in the script clearly.
But
he had to go under the training. He had to.
oh yeah, that's
Wow.
right. Yeah, that's how he had to undergo the training. All right. Well, for the whole whopping 2 people that are viewing right now, we are taking open nomination. The nominations for new Superfan have been officially opened.
Maria's gonna listen to this. She's
Hey,
gonna be
you know
like,
what?
Just listen.
Let her.
Listen, the ball's in her court.
Yeah.
It is. I mean, it is entirely up to her to show up and defend her title. I mean, if she chooses to not, I mean, do we call it a term limit? I don't know.
Maybe,
Yeah,
maybe we
you
do
know,
it
I'm-
every
We're
year.
an all-out war.
I'm not saying it's going to happen right away, but the conversation needs to be had.
The
It does.
next super fan's gonna be.
Maybe we should have. Maybe
Yeah,
we should every year we should vote on a new super fan.
Ooh, it's an annual title. Okay, all right, okay. And
We
then
gotta
what we need
earn
to
it.
do to increase audience participation, we need to have them submit. I don't want to get people on camera because not everybody's comfortable with that, but
Yeah.
submit a campaign pitch.
Oh, there you go.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay.
Lobby us as the hosts of the show as to
And
why.
tag Angry Me Production on Instagram.
Yeah. Tag us
Don't
on.
fucking Facebook anymore. So
Social medias.
And for God's sake, visit and post into the subreddit, for crying out loud. It has been open for, I don't know, 8-9 months now, and I am the only one who has ever posted in the subreddit, and I created the damn thing.
okay.
There you go.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to be alone.
The only person that has mentioned anything about the subreddit has been Bell.
Yeah, we got to work on that.
So, but anyways, ladies and gentlemen, you have been privy. You have been indentured. I would almost say that you've been forced, coerced into listening and watching. See what I did there?
The arguments.
Watching.
I did a Misty.
It's the watch.
Oh, no, I'm talking about. But yeah, so you have been witness to the verifiable. See, I'm doing it again. It's
Words are
almost
hard.
like O.J. Simpson came in and like slashed my vocal cords. I don't know, man. It's
Don't worry, words are hard.
speech doesn't fit. I mean, God, we must have quit. Nerd Sports 156. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. Nicole Brown Simpson, you should have zigged when you zagged. I'm just kind of saying. Remember, your ex-husband cut to the left. You should have gone right. And OJ.
It's a one OJ joke.
OJ, remember, it's hot where you went. Banana hammocks and flip-flops are the uniform.
Drink water.
Drink water. Hydrate, son. Just kind of putting that out there. And at several points in your life, a V8 would have done you way better than OJ would have. Just kind of saying. This has been Nerd Sports 156. I'm Johnny Skelton.
I'm David Ickerman.
I am Chris Jacka.
I'm Colin Skeleton.
And you're a special few. Don't forget to get your nominations for Superfan in. Scissor me timbers. Arr.
Laters.